platform.
Yes, ma'am, you have the capability to share the screen.
Okay, so I'm going to just do a quick tester just to make sure everything is working on my end. And I know I have my counterpart who's going to be joining me as well. I can't tell if she's on, but that's Miss Shayna Joseph. So she should be connecting here in just a few moments.
She's not here yet, Miss Tiffany.
No worries. I think we're right at time, right at 4:30. So I'll shoot her a text and give her another minute or so, and we will definitely get started. So as we wait, how many students do we have on so far?
24, 23 actually.
It's 23.
23.
I'm here
Yeah.
twice.
Nice.
Noah's special. He has to have two.
That's all good.
Hi, Rachel. Happy to see your face.
All right, let's see if this works. So I'm gonna go share screen and choose this one and share. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
We can.
Sure can.
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
All right, I'll put it in slideshow mode. And I only have a limited view of who I can see on Zoom. So I will definitely need some assistance there if someone else has questions. But I'll just kind of go over some parameters before we get started. So don't worry. We're going to make the most of it. It's going to be fun. All right. And you guys can definitely use the chat too as well. Let me see if I have that feature on this side.
You should, Miss Tiffany.
Okay. Oh, I see this at the top. So I was scrolling on the side. It just popped up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Noah just said chat is right here.
Pop it
Oh,
up.
it didn't. Oh, now I see it. Now y'all can
Yep,
everybody
give
can
you a
see
little
it.
number. There you go.
Okay, cool. That works. That definitely works.
Definitely taking this off. I didn't know I needed a new suit jacket. My arms got bigger.
All right, so I just gave Shayna a quick text. So she should be joining in a second. But because I absolutely value everyone's time, and I know that you guys probably have another class right after this one. Marsha, correct me if I'm wrong. So I certainly don't intend to take up too much of your time today, but I definitely have some really awesome information to share. And I'll see if I can minimize this too, because I guess that's distracting because you guys can see that on this side. So let's see, how do I will minimize my video because when I read, I just make crazy faces. So, and I kind of squint a little bit. I think it's attached to my age. So I'm
There's
gonna
not a person here, one that is going to judge you. Do you?
do me. I like that. All right. So yeah, that looks better. So you guys don't have to see all of that on the side. Okay. All right. So yeah, so in the interest of time, you all definitely want to go ahead and jump right in and get started. So welcome to the Career Services Overview. Our topic today is going to be on professional development, and it is going to be presented by myself and Miss Shayna Joseph. And we do have a couple things to talk to you all about as far as the capstones. So depending on just your level, where you are with Unitech, there may be some who are really close towards graduation and maybe some who have just started. Regardless, it will all apply. And if you're a note taker, I welcome you to take notes. Definitely feel free to do so. And if you're not, I can also make sure that this presentation is shared with you as well so that you will have a cross reference.
Miss Tiffany, I'm also recording this so that everybody will have a recording on their Genzabar e-learning
That is
page.
right. That's perfect. Thank you for that reminder, Marsha. I appreciate that.
No worries.
All right, so our agenda, let's jump right into it. So we are going to do some introductions, then we're going to follow that with an icebreaker, and then talk through our career services capstones. Also talk a little bit about some resume tips and some mock interview prep. So I do want to just go ahead and quick self-disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just start here. I have been with Unitech all of about 2 weeks. So there will definitely maybe a few things that I am not completely familiar with, but I will tell you I have been working in education for well over a decade, especially with proprietary schools. So this is my niche, this is my thing. But I do just want to make it crystal clear that I am a rookie. I'm a little bit of a newbie when it comes to the Unitech family. So therefore, I say that if you have a question and I don't have a direct answer for you in the moment, I guarantee you I will provide a resource. So I'm not one of those people who just gonna make up something off the top of my head, make it sound all nice and pretty for you. I'll be sure to provide you a resource or point you in the direction for someone else who can answer that question. All right, so a couple of quick house rules or virtual house rules. I know that Noah used the chat already, so I welcome you all using the chat. Again, the only way I can have access to it, we can all see it on my screen. But aside from that, I do ask that you just take the time to write down any questions. I'll check in and see if we have some questions as we go throughout. But because it is quite a bit of information, I am going to try to hold any questions that are super detailed to the end of the presentation. But if it's something that's really pressing, or I went too fast, or you need some clarity, please feel free to put it in the chat, or you can virtually raise your hand. Hopefully Zoom has that capability and I can see it. And also, if any of the NBC instructors could also just kind of keep an eye on the chat and just let me know if anyone has a question there. All right, so here are our introductions. So, and just checking, has Shayna joined the call yet?
Yes, she has.
Perfect timing. So I am going to go ahead and pass it over to my colleague, Miss Shayna Joseph.
Hey, you all. It's so great to see everybody. I am super excited. Thank you so much, Tiff. Yeah, I was here. I just, you couldn't see me because we have so many participants, which is a great thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. But again, I want to welcome you all. My name is Shayna Joseph. I am the one half of our career services department at the online campus here at Unitech. I have been at Unitech for about 9 years, working in career services. And I started at the Alexandria campus, and just a couple of months ago transferred over to the online campus. So super excited. I'm so excited to have my colleague and my department member, a team of 2 now, which I love, Miss Tiffany Francis. And I will say that we are here just to support you all. So questions that you might have, anything about employment, anything about desires that you have with working in these fields, these are questions that feel free to direct those to us. We do have knowledge to assist you all as far as employment, resume writing, job interview techniques, skills. We can help you, but and I'm sure Tiffany is going to hit on this. We can't help you if we don't know. And if you're not communicating with us, we're not able to really provide that service for you. Like I've always said, and I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna get off, but we are here for you. You have paid for the service that we provide to you. So think of it that way. You've paid for this service. It's not free. You've paid for it. So you should get your money's worth. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. And when we are reaching out to you, we're only here to serve and help you. So I look forward to this seminar. I'm excited about it. And again, we're going to have our contact information at the end. Contact us, please, if you have any questions. Thanks, Tiffany.
Thank you, Shayna. I really do appreciate that wonderful introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know I'm so thankful that Shayna is here because, again, like I said, I am getting acclimated to the Unitech facility, to the Unitech culture. So far, so good. I love everything about it, but Shayna got my back. So in case I leave something out, I know that she is here to be able to provide additional clarity. So I do appreciate you for that, Ms. Shayna. All right, so as for me, some of you may have already read my brief description down here, but again, I'm Mrs. Tiffany Francis, also known as Coach Tiff. I am completely okay if you shorten my name. I know in a professional realm, we like to stick to, being able to have that, professional title, Mrs., Miss, Mr., or however you want to, divvy that up. But Coach Tiff is just fine with me, or Miss Tiff, or just however you want to do it. You can call me whatever, just don't call me late for lunch because I do like to eat. And aside from that, I will say that I have worked in the field of higher education and social services for over a decade. So I do specialize in career coaching, resume writing, entrepreneurial training, and confidence building. So it's definitely something that I pride myself in. And again, working in education, I've been an instructor before. So a lot of what your instructors, what they are presenting to you, a lot of the information in the classwork that you all are receiving, I hope you guys are taking it to heart. You all seem like a really great group, a really good bunch of students, but everything that they're teaching is going to show up in the real world. It's going to show up day to day on the job. So just make sure if you haven't been paying attention up until this point, make sure you start to do that. Yes. All right, so now it's on you all. So I want to know, what is your why? So this is definitely a typical question that may be proposed in class. It may be proposed just day to day. Oh, if you guys don't mind just kind of muting your mics. I said I was going to give some virtual house rules and I left that out. So definitely make sure you mute your mics just so we can cut down on any interference. All right, so our icebreaker is, what is your why? So I want you guys to take just a few moments to think about it. Think about what led you to pursue your education at Unitech and what motivates you. So the way we're going to do this, because we do have such a large group, I would like for you guys to just type that in the chat. Again, don't feel pressured if you don't have an actual explanation as far as what your why is right now. It may actually come to fruition throughout the actual presentation. So just go ahead and make sure you place it there. I see one person has already typed in the chat here, so I'm going to bring this up really quickly. Okay, so Asia. So Asia is already saying, I hope I said your name correctly. If not, please correct me. And she's saying, Aisha. Thank you. Thank you, Aisha. So she's saying, my kids are getting older. I needed something worthy to do with my time. I like taking vacations. Okay. So with that, would that mean that your kids are your why, or are you your why? Or is this why you pursued your education?
I'm the why.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Okay.
They're moving on. I'm the why.
I love it. I love it.
Same, absolutely. And then I'll just read one or two more and then we'll keep going just for the interest of time. So let's see, we have Rebecca. So Rebecca has put here, I've always wanted to get into the healthcare field and the pandemic really pushed me into it. Yes, Rebecca, that's one way to definitely start. It's such a need. You all are very essential, as I'm sure you already know, but that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Rebecca. All right, and I'll take one more really quickly. Noah. So Noah has here, originally it was to defer loans, but became something more after meeting the people at Unitech who took pride and care in my education. Absolutely, Noah. And that's what I'm learning about Unitech is definitely, it's a family environment. Even though we're all virtual, we're all online, you still feel the support, you still feel the love. So it's definitely a family unit. And I see the chat is definitely, it's going off. So that is great, guys. So I see we got 7 more messages down below. So what I'll do is, say it again. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought someone had that question. So what we'll do is towards the end, I'll probably go back through, but you all take a moment and look and see what your peers are putting in there. What is their why? Why did they pursue their education here at Unitech? You're going to need these words. I want you to come back and remember this on days that is difficult, on days where you're like, oh my gosh, I got a test coming up and I just didn't study. I did not prepare. I'm gonna need you to go back to your why, okay? So that will definitely help you out quite a bit. All right, so here we go. The Capstone Curriculum. So I actually want to pass this slide over to Ms. Shayna, because I know there are 4 different capstones and we're only doing a snapshot today because some of the videos are a little longer. But again, this is the curriculum that has been developed by Career Service. So I'm going to pass the slide to her just to kind of break down the different capstones for us.
Sure. Okay. So I've been hearing from kind of a lot of students want to know, well, I need help with my resume. Who's going to help me with my resume? I need a resume. Okay, we're going to work on that. That's part of this capstone course. You will have a resume completed by the time you finish this course. Interview preparation, that's going to be what we call here our mock interview, where we will kind of do a pretend or mock interview setting, answering questions, asking questions, those difficult questions. The number one difficult question that most students and just people in general have a time with is the dreaded, tell me about yourself. And so we'll talk about that. We're gonna help you with that, do some role play, give you some suggestions that we're not talking about personal information, that we don't sound like we're on a dating app, because we do not want that. We want professionalism, and we want to keep it all about what professionally we can do and support the potential employer. So we'll talk about that. Dress to impress, you know, you only get, what the saying is, you only have one chance to make that first impression. So what are you wearing? Even, especially in this still pandemic era that we're in, and you know, our campus is fully online. A lot of interviews are being done on the internet, but even still, there are some guidelines that you need to follow with that. You need to have a clean background. You need to make sure you don't have any distractions, no noise. Try not to be in a car. Try to be in an actual, room that's quiet, that you don't have any distractions, that you have a good internet connection. Practice, make sure your connection and the way that you're going to conduct the interview is working beforehand, that type of thing. So we'll talk and give you suggestions on that. And then once you get that spot, once you get that interview, how to make sure that that goes to, or try to make sure that that can possibly go to a job offer, what to do, what's some follow-up tips to do. So those are some of the topics that'll be discussed during the capstone course, and you'll have this knowledge by the time you finish the program and finish this course. Now, the important thing is that what we have here on the screen with your capstone, that's just kind of like, that's a good foundation, is what I like to say. But there is, more information, practicing. There are things, other additional things that you can do in order to make yourself that perfect candidate for positions. And we'll talk about that as well. You'll have the foundation. Now it'll be up to you how far you want to take it. Tiffany?
Absolutely. Very, very good. Very practical as well. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing that information with everybody, Ms. Shayna. Very helpful. And that really just ties into our next slide here, which is what is a resume? Now, I know a few of you, you have work experience in other areas. So you have created somewhat of a work history for yourself. And that's all fine and well. I get it, we're speaking to adult learners, but sometimes it's really good to go back and really define what that is. So what is a resume? So a resume is a document that showcases your work experience, education, and skills needed to apply for a job. So we get the definition, we get that part, but now I have a question that I'm going to propose to you all out there. So how much time does a potential employer take to review an individual resume? So how long does it take an employer to review one resume? How much time are they spending on it? They're taking about an hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. You guys put that information in the chat. How long do you think an employer takes to really review your resume?
That is a great question. That is a great question.
Yes. And this is something that I had to learn along the way. And I see the chat here. Okay, so Courtney, 10 seconds, 10 seconds again. The names are going too quickly. Sheena, about 10 minutes. Marissa, 90 seconds. Julia, 15 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Deborah, maybe 30 seconds. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, and Jasmine, no more than 20 minutes. Awesome. So everybody has had some really, really good feedback. So again, for an individual resume, and I want you guys, because I know we're in the era where everybody likes to fact check. So I get that. I want y'all to fact check me. That's FACT. Go ahead and fact check me. But again, it takes an employer 6 to 7 seconds to review your resume. So we like to call it 6 seconds to shine. So if you want to go on Google, type it in, how long does it take an employer to review your resume? You're going to see it. It'll pop up 6 to 7 seconds. So what does that mean for you all? That means your resume really has to stand out, and it has to stand out in a way where it is error-free and really showcase your skills in a precise fashion where you are highlighting your attributes in a clear manner so that the employer actually knows, okay, this is going to be a wonderful candidate for the open position. So 6 to 7 seconds. Don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen, 6 seconds to shine. All right, so from there, resume essentials. So these are a few things that I like to list that you really want to have on your resume, because within those 6 seconds, you're going to have an employer or an HR professional. They're going to be looking at certain things. So the first thing, they want to know, who are you professionally? So they want to read through and get a really good picture as far as who you are. Number 2, they want to know, what can you do? What can you do for their company? What have you done in the past? So they're going to be looking at your skill sets. So you can have an actual skill set section on your resume. Number 3, they definitely want to know, what do you want to do? So what are your career goals? Do you have an objective on your resume? Having an objective can be a little bit controversy, because some choose to put their expanded objective on a cover letter, while others will take about a sentence. You don't want it to be any more than about 15 words, kind of like your own personal brand mission statement when you talk about your career objective. So it's also really good to have. And again, if you're noticing that it's longer than about a sentence or two, then you want to reconstruct that and develop a cover letter. And we can talk about that when we have our next workshop, which is on resume writing. So we'll really go deeper into this topic, but this is surface level. This is just an overview. And then number 4, where do you want to go? So what's your 5-year plan? So a lot of students, they tend to see that this one is a little bit more of a challenge, because how do you state where you want to go on a resume? But you can do that 2 ways. You can put that in your objective, and you can also place that in your education. So if it shows that you are continuing your education and you're getting that certification, and say you have a certification in NBC, however, your work history is hospitality, so you've worked in restaurants, that shows the direction that you're going in. So that shows your plan right there. So as an employer, they'll have that aha moment where they say, okay, this person is looking to be able to gain work experience. All right. And then from here, resume wording. So this is going to be super, super important. So the first thing, you got to make sure you check your spelling and grammar. When you're checking that too, make sure you let it go through a second set of eyes, if not a third set of eyes. It's so important. When I say you've got 6 seconds to shine, if you're shining in a way that shows your errors, then that's going to come off as the employer thinking that you have a poor work performance. And you don't want that to be something that's highlighted through your resume. So you want to make sure you check it, make sure you send it to myself, Shayna, also, your instructors, even a family member that you trust. Don't just send it to anybody. Some people out here, they're like, oh, it looks good. You really want to make sure that it's someone that you trust. And then going back into those 6 seconds to shine too, one more thing I want to add, it is a rule of thumb that your resume shouldn't be any longer than 1 page if you have 10 years or less of work experience. Now, if you have more than 10 years and you've got more of a tenure there, then it's okay to go above 1 page. But what I see most time with my students, some of them, they're defined in the work world as job hoppers if they've had a lot of jobs. But what I see is they'll put every job they've had, even if they worked it a week, 2 days, less than 90 days, and they're up to 3 or 4 pages on their resume. So you definitely want to go in and re-strategize how your resume looks. And then that's why you have Shayna and I, we're your support, we're your second set of eyes to make sure that you are representing yourself in the best light. And then from there, so there's this great website called Indeed. I'm pretty sure you all have heard about it. So it's wonderful for job searches. But one thing that Indeed will do, it will ask you if you want to be able to use their template to build your resume. The only thing with that is it's a very standard template, and it doesn't really take the time to go in and do some of these basic things that we're talking about, checking the spelling and grammar, making sure that the font size is consistent, the style, the color. And if everybody is using that Indeed template, trust and believe the employers are definitely passing you by. They want to see something that stands out. They want to see something that catches their attention. And another thing that's super important, when you use that Indeed resume template, it's typically going to make your resume about 3 to 4 pages long. So that's already a red flag that may not be the most appropriate template for you. Now you can use that as a starting point. So you can use it and you can copy and paste, and we'll provide you with a pre-filled template that we use. So you can use it for that. But as far as just leading with that Indeed template, you definitely want to have a template that you've created on your own, typically in Microsoft Word. All right, and number 3. So what number 3 is, use first person writing style and choose present or past tense in wording to showcase the most important and relevant information. So the standard accepted practice is to leave out personal pronouns like I, my, and me. This style is referred to as first person implied. So that's pretty self-explanatory. So on your resume, you definitely want to, if it's a previous job, then you want to say manage with the ED on the end. And you definitely don't have to start it off with I manage, just manage. So you definitely want to always make sure you're speaking in first person format. And again, like I said, with our next workshop, we'll go into that a little bit further, and I'll have some examples that I can show you all as well. All right, so do not include. I'll pass this one over to Shayna because I know she's probably got some things to add that I didn't put on here. So Shayna, take it away. Oh, Shayna, if you are talking, you might be on mute.
She is muted.
Okay, and she might be on a call. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll go over this one. And if you all have some things that you've been told before, like maybe you've went through your instructors or you went to another educational institution and you're like, okay, something that you don't want to include is not on my list, put it in the chat. I know it's going to help somebody. So the first thing on professional email. This one is very self-explanatory. So we don't need, hot girl 504, we don't need, get this money. We want to get the money, but we don't need that to be represented in our email. So definitely make sure to tie in Shayna's point that we're not advertising as like a dating site. That everything should be professional. Number 2, photo or profile picture. Please leave the photos off of your resume if you haven't done so already. Super important. I know in today's modern day era, a lot of individuals like to see what you look like, and some employers may even ask. They may even ask you to share your LinkedIn or share your profile picture. I don't care how you spin it, that is still a form of discrimination. So make sure you keep your photo or profile picture off. And then 3, bold, bright colors, graphics. You definitely don't want to take too much away from the content and the body of your resume. So you definitely want to go a little bit more plain Jane. So it's typical to use those colors that are neutral, black, navy blue, gray. Those are going to be your best bet. So none of like the nice fluorescent pinks, purples, all of that, leave that off. Your full address. All right, so it's really important that you only put your city, state, and zip code. You don't want to put your full address on there. Why? That could definitely lead to a potential safety mechanism for you. So you want to make sure that you only have your city, state, and zip on the resume. You don't need your full address. Phone numbers without voicemail access. I'm going to hone in on this one real quick. There has been several students who have missed out on wonderful opportunities because they listed a number, and sometimes it's not intentional, but they listed a number that was either not in service or did not have access to voicemail. So you call somebody and they say the voicemail box is full, or this person hasn't set up their voicemail box. That lets the employer know that you may not be taking your job search very seriously. So if you are searching for a job, make sure you consistently clean out your voicemail, make sure that it's professional. You can use the automated voice, but make sure it's always professional. A lot of employers, I know we like to text. I know that's the preferred way to communicate. And when we're meeting virtual in spaces like this, we kind of get used to the computer and what it can do. But the voicemail, you're gonna have to have access to that. It's very important.
And let me piggyback on that, Tiffany. Yes. I 100% agree. There have been, it's not widespread, but to me, any missed opportunity for our graduates to land employment is too many. And it has been numerous times that grads have not had either voicemail set up or mailboxes full. And employers have told me repeatedly over and over again that it was a viable opportunity, but they couldn't get in touch or leave a message with the with my grad. So if that's the case, that means that that's a job opportunity that is just passed by. So it's, to me, you always control the controllable. Things that you can control, we're going to work on that. Things that we can't, we're just going to, do your best, practice, prepare, and keep it moving. Things you can control, we can control that. having a voicemail on your phone that you have listed on your resume, that's a controllable. There's no reason that an employer should be trying to reach out to you and cannot leave a message. Because if they cannot leave a message, guarantee they are moving on to the next candidate, and you have just missed out on a possible opportunity. Because if they're looking for your phone number and trying to call you, I see someone put it on here, what about a secondary number on the resume? I'm gonna let Tiffany answer that. But if they are, I'm gonna pass it back to Tiffany. But if they are, this is my thing. If they are trying to contact you, that means that they're ready to set up an interview with you. So if they're ready to set up an interview, either they're ready to set up an interview with you, or you've already interviewed with them and they want to go on with the hiring process. Either or, it's a good thing. They need to be able to get in touch with you. And like I said, it's not widespread, but it's too many. And if we have more than one grad that is missing opportunity for employment because of that, I think it's too many. So that's kind of like my soapbox on the voicemails. It happens too often.
Yeah, no, that was perfect, Shayna. I couldn't agree with you more. I know that had to hit home with the students because, of course, they're putting some information in the chat. And to the student who asks about an alternate phone number, you can definitely still place an alternate phone number on your resume. That has not been phased out along with the era that we're in. So that is still definitely important. But when you place that alternate number on there, just make sure that it's someone that you trust that can get that message. So I'd always say, a spouse, a significant other, maybe even a parent or guardian who can truly get you that message. Just leave it out, when in doubt, leave it out. So if it's a friend, previous employer, all of that, you definitely don't want to list that. But again, if you have access to someone with a reliable alternate number, absolutely, definitely go ahead and list that. And I love what Shayna said about control the controllable. It literally is just that. And anything else that you can't control, then again, when in doubt, leave it out. So I hope someone felt that word. I hope someone wrote that down. That could be a nice social media post, but I digress. All right, so the career objective. Uh-oh, we got somebody off mute. Go ahead and mute your microphone back again for us, please. Thank you. So the career objective, I really already talked about this. So just make sure that it's concise, short, concise, straight to the point. I am interested in working in the field of medical billing and coding and expanding my knowledge on that platform. So you can literally keep it at that. You don't have to go any further. If you feel that you want to be able to say more to that point, then that's when you want to convert that message over to a cover letter, and we'll talk about that at a later date. All right, so next page here. So interview preparation. So we're really rocking and rolling. We're moving and grooving. So I just want to check the time. I know we got started a few moments. So I think we had this call for about 30 minutes. So instructors, please chime in if we need to adjust our stop time, and we'll do a part 2 series, but you all just let me know what works best. And I'll keep going on to this slide. And if someone could please just mute their mic. I am getting a little bit of interference. All right, so interview preparation. So important questions. There are far more than 3, but I wanted to be able to have a snapshot so that you all can see that some of these questions definitely tend to trip students up, and not even students, professionals. I've sat in on so many different higher level corporate style interviews. And again, it's not just a student thing. This is definitely something that's very prevalent in the professional world as well. So some of the questions to pay attention to and really work on is the first question, tell me about yourself. So when you hear that question, you automatically want your brain to go to elevator pitch. If you've never heard of that term, I do have a quick video here as a reference, but your elevator pitch should be no more than 1 minute. It's you being able to speak on your skill set and your goals and what you would like to achieve versus you talking about your personal life, your home life, your family, your friends. So you want to leave all of that out of your elevator pitch. It does take a while to construct until you get it to down packed to memory, but it's definitely something good to know. And then number 2, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Most of us have a pretty good handle on our strengths. You know, we can say, I am very organized, I'm a team player, but also be prepared to provide some concrete examples. So you want to make sure you have that as well. And then the weakness. If we were all in person, I would have everybody just raise their hand and say, you know, what type of weakness do you have? I've heard just about anything you can think of. Some students or professionals say, well, I don't have any weaknesses, I'm perfect. And don't want to go there, don't want to say that. With your weakness, you want to be able to speak on something that you are currently working to improve. For example, when I talk business, one of the things that we would go over is typing. How fast can you type? Are you taking a typing test? With that, some of my students didn't always hit that benchmark. The average typing speed that most professionals are looking for is 45 words per minute. So if you haven't taken a typing test, I encourage you to quiz yourself on it and see where you land. Sorry, I was getting a little interference. So see where you land. Now, you could use a typing speed as a weakness, but this is how you want to tweak it. This is how you want to spin it. So you would tell that employer, I've seen the job advertisement. They're looking for someone that can type 55 words per minute. I'm currently at 40 words per minute. However, I take a typing test daily to improve my speed. Or you can go a little further with that example and say, I see you're looking for 55 words per minute. I've been in school, I've been taking my typing tests weekly. I started at 20 words, now I'm at 45 words. An employer loves to see that gradual movement. So always make sure that you're using leverage. Another example is time management. So if time management, you know, is a weak point for you, there is a way to turn that into a strength. A lot of students don't like to lead with this, but 9 times out of 10, they're still working on that time management for themselves. So I get it. So if this doesn't apply, you don't have to use it. But when it comes to time management, you can easily tell an employer, I'm working to improve my time management skills by keeping up with the calendar, setting notes on my phone, taking notes, and just being more organized overall. What that tells the employer is that, okay, this person is authentic, they're transparent, and they're still constantly working to achieve that goal. A lot of actual employers are not looking for perfectionists. So like I said earlier, don't ever lead with that. They're not looking for that. If you come in with the I know it all attitude, then you're not coachable. They want to be able to work with someone where they can train, someone who is going to be receptive to feedback. So you're definitely welcome to utilize that as well in an interview. And then why do you want to work here? Why do you want to work here? This is a good one. Why do you want to work here is definitely a question where a lot of students, they typically think, I need money. They typically think, well, how much are y'all paying? I want to work here because I got to take care of my kids. I got to make sure I keep the lights on. You know, whatever it is, don't lead with the personal. A company wants to hear the longevity. They want to hear that you're attached to their goal. So why do you want to work here? I would empower all of you to look up that company's mission statement. Tie that mission statement. And if you're not familiar with a mission statement, every company has one. You can Google it. You can Google what is their actual mission statement, or just do the research on that company. Look into that medical website that they have and let them know, I want to work here because I see that your goal is to be able to give back. I also have a servant's heart, and that is in alignment directly with my career path. When you lead with that, that definitely gives the employer more of an understanding that it's not just monetary for you. It's not just vanity. You actually really want to come in there. You want to do a good job. All right. So that's interview prep. Let's take a quick look at the video. If the audio isn't working, guys, I will just kind of come back to it, but let's take a quick look at elevator pitch. Can you guys hear it? Were y'all able to hear that? at
Yes,
all?
we can hear.
You
We
were?
can hear.
Okay,
Beth. We can
okay.
hear.
Perfect.
A 30-second elevator pitch, sometimes called your 30-second commercial, is a quick way to introduce yourself at a career fair, when networking, or in any professional setting. Start off with a quick intro, your name, year in school, and major. Easy, right? Next, mention your plans for the future. What field are you interested in? Let the other person know your goals. Then, talk about the steps you've taken to get there. Briefly describe your experience or skills that you've developed to help you reach your career goal. Finally, if you're talking to an employer, mention how their company fits into your career plan. And there you have it, a 30-second elevator pitch. Create one and you'll be able to approach employers with confidence. So, what's your pitch?
Perfect. So with that too, because a lot of students want to know the coin phrase, or why is it called an elevator pitch? So a little fun fact, little history there. It takes about 30 seconds to actually get on the elevator and go from bottom to top, and then another 30 seconds to come back down. So that is where the coin term comes from. But again, the premise that you want to get from that is how you can prepare it and how you can present it. All right, so here we go. So as far as securing your spot and mock interview prep, so we're almost done. So I wanted to give you guys an example of an elevator pitch while talking about securing the spot and mock interview. So we've already kind of gone into that mock interview and what you need to do as far as some of those questions, because myself and Shayna, we are going to be asking you all, tell me about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Why do you want to work with this company? So you will hear and see that again. And then of course, securing the spot. So once you have made it through the interview phase, you want to make sure that you constantly realign your answers with the company in mind. It's very, very important. All right, so here is a quick example, and then we'll move forward.
Hello, here's an elevator pitch example. Hi, my name is Mrs. Tiffany Francis, also known as Coach Tiff. I received my associate's degree in paralegal studies, my bachelor's in criminal justice, and my master's in human services. I worked in the field of proprietary education and social services for the past decade. I'm also an entrepreneur, and my ultimate goal is to grow my career coaching company. Thank you so much for your time today. Please feel free to follow me on LinkedIn.
All right, perfect. So a couple of different things to remember. Always start with your name. Go into your education. If you have limited higher education experience, you can still talk about high school, but talk about some of the clubs and the accolades that you achieved. If you were in ROTC, if you were in the Beta Club, if you did any type of extracurricular activities, make sure that you mention that as a part of your education. So until you actually receive your certificate, you can still talk about your education in that way. Your work experience, very important. So a lot of you on the call have work experience, but when you're talking about it, use only the examples that's going to be relative to where you want to go. So for example, if you know you're going into a doctor's office, but your resume is more hospitality, so it's more restaurants, you really want to talk about customer service. You want to let that employer know, I have XYZ number of years working in customer service, because you need that. Customer service is very transitional, so you'll be able to utilize that anywhere. And then of course, your career or educational goals, make sure that you state that. Let them know. So my ultimate goal is to be able to work with your company, is to be able to go back to school and get my master's in health management. So whatever that is, whatever your future looks like, make sure you talk about that. They definitely want to hear that. And you never know, they may have a few ways where they can help you. and then thank them. Now, let me kind of back up with this one, because if you're at a networking event and you've already talked to someone and you guys have exchanged information and the conversation isn't really getting anywhere after that, you can thank them for your time and offer them a way to be able to keep in contact with you. However, with the interview, you don't have to thank them. You can actually stop with the career goals. So you can let them know, my ultimate goal is to do X, Y, Z, and I see myself being in alignment with your organization. And then you will cut it there. So you don't have to thank them, because they're going to have some more questions for you, because that's usually the first question they start with. All right. And then, of course, in addition to that, so Shayna and I, we are going to contact you 30 days prior to graduation to complete your mock interview. So again, I'll make sure that we share our number and our email, lock us in your phone, answer our call, because this is a capstone. It is a requirement.
Please. Don't run from us, please.
Yes, because I'm chasing a few students now, so we get it. We know how that is. All right, so the dress to impress one, I believe this is my last slide. It is 3 minutes. So instructors, let me know how we're looking on time. If not, I can definitely make sure I share this as well.
Yeah, 7-1.
We're okay, Marsha?
Yeah, I think we're fine, Miss Tiffany. We'll just go ahead and continue.
Perfect. All right, so dress to impress. So this video you will see again. It has, I think it's narrated by our wonderful career services director, Miss Nikki McKinney. So definitely pay attention to this, because I can't stress how important it is. We're in a virtual environment. A lot of you guys are from all throughout the state of Louisiana and maybe even further out than that. I know myself, I'm located in Georgia. So when
hey y'all, I'm sorry. I'm just getting off of work and hopping on.
Okay, good to have you. Welcome. All right, so when it comes to that, I'm bringing up that point.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we heard you. So I do ask that you just go ahead and just hang out. We're wrapping up, and this is being recorded, so we'll make sure that you get a copy as well of anything that you missed, okay? All righty, so the purpose of me actually, calling out that we're virtual, we're online, which is obvious, is we tend to get a little lax, especially, in our attire. But once it's time for an interview, or maybe you're on a panel, a seminar, a webinar, whatever it is, you definitely want to take those few moments to shine. You want the employer to be able to see that you are able to dress professional. If you need a resource for that, then you want to reach out to us in career services, and we should be able to point you in that right direction of professional clothing as well. So we're going to take a quick look at this video, and then we'll be wrapping up here momentarily.
The way in which we think ourselves has everything to do with how the world sees us. Arian Raven. The average person forms a lasting opinion. The way in which we think ourselves has everything to do with how the world sees us. Arian Raven. The average person forms a lasting opinion of another person in less than 60 seconds, and it is mainly formed on appearance. Appropriate dress attire for an interview tells the employer the following. You understand what is and what is not appropriate for the workplace. You understand the impact of your appearance on not only yourself, but the company and its customers. You understand the importance of good hygiene. And finally, you are taking the interview seriously. The best choice of dress attire is professional, conservative, and simple. Here are a few general do's and don'ts. 1, never wear jeans, t-shirts, revealing clothing, outdoor apparel, or athletic shoes. This will give the impression that you are not taking the interview process seriously. It also gives the perception that you are either overly confident or lazy. Number 2, refrain from applying an excessive amount of perfume or cologne. Again, the goal is not to be offensive to the interviewer. Number 3, no excessive or gaudy jewelry, including facial piercing. Remember, professional, conservative, and simple. Number 4, always cover any visible tattoos. Regardless of your personal views about tattoos, the workplace is simply that, the workplace. The goal is to get hired, not get into a debate. Number 5, be squeaky clean. Bathe before the interview. Wear deodorant, clean your fingernails, and wash your hair. Maintaining proper personal hygiene is essential. Dressing well for an interview is one of the best things that you can do to establish credibility with a potential employer, as well as anyone you may come in contact with. Here are a few tips for the ladies. Choose a dark colored knee-length skirt or loose slacks, preferably black, blue, or brown. Wear closed-toe shoes, flats or heels, and not too high. Refrain from tight-fitted clothing. Neatly groom your hair with no loud colors. Apply makeup lightly for a natural, not painted look. Avoid long nails and loud colored nail polish. Save the fashion trends for later, not for your interview. For the men, if you have facial hair, make sure that it is neatly groomed. Remove your facial piercings and cover visible tattoos. Wear a dark colored suit or loose slacks. Choose a button-up shirt and tie, but your jacket is optional. Make sure the tie is free of slogans that may be offensive. And finally, do not wear a baseball or basketball cap or a hat inside. It does not matter what any of the employees are wearing. I'm talking about casual clothing. You are there for an interview. It is always better to be overdressed versus being underdressed. Here are a few examples of what is acceptable. Remember, the average person forms a lasting opinion of another within 60 seconds, and it's mainly formed on appearance. First impressions matter, so let's make it count.
All right, perfect. So again, everything that I would add to that, I feel like will be a reiteration. It has already been said, it's already been stated. I know that we got a lot of different age groups on the call, so I know some of this is a refresher. Also very obvious to the point that, you know, if you are interviewing for a virtual position, that you may not have to go through every step. I do, but again, you know, take it very seriously, whether it's in person, whether it's virtual, just make sure you are taking the time to go through those steps and be neatly groomed. It's very important. All right, so let's keep moving here. So Q&A. So I'm gonna just head over to the chat really quickly and see kind of what we have going on here, because we have reached the end of our presentation, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see. So even if you have been to help all those, they were to work to do so. Okay, I need to cover my hands, tattoos. Okay, tappingtest.com. Yeah, y'all got some really good stuff in here. So I definitely, whoops, let me go back one. I definitely see that you guys work together as a team. I love that. So some of you have actually gone in and answered a few questions. So I'm going to come out of share mode and take a few questions. Shayna and I see if we can definitely help you as we wrap up. So any questions that you all may have? Don't be shy.
Now the crickets.
Go ahead, Noah. I see this one. I see one of your questions on here, Noah. How long is too long when it comes to applying for jobs on job search websites? Give me a little clarity.
So
what you mean by
example for
Noah?
that, I was looking through Indeed while we were on this, and I saw a job posting for July 20th. We are now currently August 4th. How long is too long?
Oh, you mean the date of when the posting of the
The
job
one
was?
post was, yes.
I'm gonna tell you this, what I found, and I'm gonna let Tiffany piggyback off of that too, because we both have different experiences, and I think combining those together are just great. What I have found on job boards, specifically Indeed, a lot of employers, and this is crazy. I don't know why, but a lot of employers post jobs and then they don't interact with those postings, and it's not free. You know, it costs these employers to post those jobs, and I think depending on the package they get each time someone clicks on that posting, it costs them money, like 5 cents or something like that. They have different plans for it, but it's not cheap.
Right.
So, you know, it's kind of crazy to me that they would not be as on top of those postings as you would think, but a lot of them are not. My suggestion always is with any of those job boards, Indeed especially, is to and you can't do this every time, but the first thing is to try to go to the actual employer website if you can, and do a direct apply if it's possible. That doesn't happen every time. Some employers don't list their full identity and their information, and so you can't do it. You have to apply through Indeed. That was a long answer to your question. I would still apply. I mean, if it's up there, I would apply, but I would say, you know, a lot of times those old ones, they're not even checking their Indeed inbox. They're not even checking it. And I know this because a lot of employers have told me that personally, like, oh yeah, we do have a posting. Well, can you just tell your candidates that you have, just go to our website and apply directly there? I've heard that so many times. So I would always try that first.
They actually had a link directly to their website, and that's actually how I saw the date that it was posted. I didn't actually see it on Indeed first. I looked at the actual job website.
Gotcha.
They posted that on July 20th. So it still would be worth to apply
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yes.
So just to kind of give some light on that too, I've actually posted jobs in Indeed for employers previously.
Oh, yes. Okay. Come on, give us the backstory.
So yeah, you are correct, Shayna. They do charge you by the number of clicks that the person goes in and looks at that. They are charged for it, but you do have to put an open and close date on those job postings. Okay. Those jobs should have an open and close date. So no, to answer your question, as long as you're still seeing that position open, you still should be able to apply for it. Once they've hired or they no longer are looking for someone, they're going to close it out. They can't leave it open indefinitely.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, really good feedback. Noah, great question.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely echo everything that Shayna has shared, everything that Danielle has shared. I think the only thing I would add to that is they do have an algorithm that is built in on Indeed. So because those analytics are there, you know, and employers, they can definitely take advantage of that and set that target date, that end date. There's a lot that you can do with it. But for you all as the actual constituent, the student that's actually applying for that role, I definitely agree. Go ahead and apply. If the job posting is still there, make sure you apply, because you never know. July 20th, they may have went through some transition and maybe they offered the position and then it closed back out and they reopened it. You never know. I don't want us to get too involved with thinking what the employer's thinking. Remember, that's that control the controllable. So what we can control is the fact that we have our resume, so we can update that or upload that since the posting is open. And one other tip I want to give is, I don't know if you guys have heard of Glassdoor, but Glassdoor is a wonderful reference, a wonderful resource. So as you are posting or uploading your resume to Indeed, or if it takes you directly to the company's website, I would say if you're really interested, not every job, because it can be time consuming, but if you're really interested in that particular organization, go to glassdoor.com and type in that organization, and you'll be able to see reviews in real time just based on the company culture and that dynamic. So that'll kind of give you a little bit of a behind the scenes look. And this is based off of previous and current employers. And I know I utilize that every time. So that's also a good tool as well.
Yes.
You guys, I'm sorry, I just want to add one more. I was a hiring manager. This is why I got all of this stuff behind me. But another thing Tiffany was saying about the as far as setting words or specific things that they're looking for in that resume, they can set it up in Indeed where they will only get sent those specific resumes that actually captures those words, keywords that they're looking for. So I would definitely say whenever you're looking at any position that you're trying to get hired on, pick some keywords from their description and put it into your resume so that it will mirror kind of some of the things that they're looking for. Because 9 times out of 10, those keywords have been identified as people that they're looking for or different skills that they're looking for.
Yes, absolutely. Spot on, right on target.
Yes.
Yes, you
Yes.
see, me and Shayna, we're part of the choir. Yeah, so we definitely agree with that. And those buzzwords are going to be very, very imperative. But again, it's just like what Ms. Danielle just said, go directly back to the post. So once you go back to the job posting and you take a look at the job description, make sure those words also mirror to your resume as well. It'll definitely give you a step above. Okay.
And these are
Oh,
some,
yes, go ahead.
real quick, Tiffany, as Danielle was saying, these are some these are extra tips to help you get over the edge and really get that opportunity. And what I've experienced with unfortunately a lot of students, a lot of grads that don't want to make that little extra time. But these things you're like, oh, you mean to tell me I gotta go in? No, I already did my resume. It's done. I'm finished. Like, done. I don't want to do no. But these little tips, these are just little things that can possibly make the difference. Ms. Danielle just confirmed it as a hiring manager. These are things that can actually make the difference. So when we're giving you these suggestions to tweak here or take that off, let's move that down here at the bottom of the page and move this up. These are just little things, not busy work. Things that just make your life difficult, but these are things that we have in our tool belt to present to you to help you win. And that's the goal, is for you all to get hired. So all of these little tricks that we have, or the big picture is get you in front of an employer and to get a job offer. Keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Mic drop. I couldn't agree more. That was good. So I'm going to go to the last 2 questions that I see here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this call right on up, you guys. But if you are just really interested in continuing the conversation, like I said, we'll provide our contact information. So Jasmine, she's put here that I'm trying to work from home. Do I have to work in an office before working from home? Great question, Jasmine. So your rule of thumb with those virtual and remote positions is an employer is definitely going to be looking for a certain level of experience. So this goes hand in hand with trust. So if you have not gained enough experience on your resume in that medical field or working as a medical billing encoder, then yes, you are going to want to really hone in on your actual skill set in person. I think for any student, just coming out of school, it may look a little different for information technology, but aside from that, if you're going to be working with your hands a lot and you're definitely going to be in a specialized field, you really want to get that hands-on in-person experience first before you navigate that remote, that virtual world. So that is going to come with a certain level of experience. It looks different for each individual employer, but it's definitely something that you want to have gained before you apply for a virtual role.
Can I expand on that a little bit, Miss Tiffany?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
I always use this example. So if you go to Walmart, so you got a job at Walmart, and you walk in and you clock in, and they just stick you on a register and say, there you go. Well, that's how they get their money, is on the register, right? So if you're doing medical billing and coding, that's how the doctor gets paid. He's not going to just allow you to work from home automatically. Now, are there other jobs to work at home? Insurance, pre-authorization clerk, AR, things like that. It's not saying you can never work from home, but a doctor simply cannot hand over his contracts to you, his bills to you, his patients to you without the experience. I hope that makes sense, because that's where they get their money, guys. They don't mess around with that money.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Marcia. I love it. I love the example because it brings more of a realization to it. So absolutely, definitely. All right, and let's see. So Mr. or Mrs. Briggs, I see your question here. So Louisiana Workforce Commission or the Unemployment Office, I like how you got that in quotations, post current job openings in civil service jobs. They offer free resume assistance and many other services for job seekers. They post a lot of jobs not listed anywhere else. So I like that. That's a resource. I definitely thank you for providing that, Mr. or Mrs. Briggs. I appreciate it because you want to be able to use your resource. Yes, career service is one of those resources that you have that's built into your financial aid package as a student at Unitech Training Academy, but there's all sorts of other resources that you can definitely take advantage of. So again, the unemployment office, there may be some work source centers near you, depending on where you live. I know a lot of us are spread out throughout the state. There may be some different online job boards that you guys can actually look into, especially within the medical field. Indeed is one of them, but there's also LinkedIn. I don't know if you guys have created LinkedIn accounts or if you're familiar with it, but LinkedIn is a wonderful area where you can actually go on and apply for jobs directly. It's a little bit more time consuming, but it's worth it because you get a chance to really see the actual employers who work there. You get a chance to see some of their accolades, and that might be an area of mentorship for you. That may be a stretch goal for you. So definitely utilize as many resources as possible. Again, I've already self-disclosed that I am not a Louisiana native, so all of the resources I may not be privy to at this time, but I do offer, Shayna or even Danielle or Ms. Marcia to speak on any other areas of resources that you can also take advantage of and look into. But that is a really good one. I think the unemployment office, that's what they're there for. So they're there to get you from being unemployed. So that's a really, really good start point. All right, so let's see. Don't think I see any other questions in the chat.